Friends, welcome to this year's graduation ceremony. It says on the program 187th commencement exercises, where we are here today to celebrate this class of 2025 and also to reaffirm again our commitment and the vitality of Olney Friends School. And it's my pleasure to serve as today's master of ceremonies. And yeah, it's going to be a wonderful day. I'm so happy to see the parents up front and also the graduands, as the British taught us to say, graduands. It's wonderful. And the faculty and all guests and students up there. All right, let's get moving with our program. I'll invite Roger Reynolds, member of the faculty, to introduce the class of 2025. And in between each item, we will have a period of silent reflection, which we refer to as collection or meeting for worship. And in fact, this whole ceremony is a meeting for worship with attention to graduation. I've said it, this is going to be the 7th time. I request for all applause to be held till the end. Let us see if it will be the 2nd time that we all hold on. It's only happened once, where we ended the ceremony and all applause was held to the end. And that, as I say, is in the manner of friends, in the manner of Quakers. And we are in this sacred place, this meeting house of the high yearly meeting. And that is how we do our celebrations, as a meeting for worship with attention to graduation.
Good morning. I am honored to introduce you to the class of 2025. But first, I need to express gratitude. First to my wife, Diane, whose support and understanding makes everything possible for me. And especially to the people on my right, the faculty and staff of Olney Friends School. Their care and commitment is the secret sauce that keeps Olney going, as every one of our graduates today would attest. The end of the year here at Olney comes slowly, then suddenly, all at once. February and March seem to go on forever. You begin to feel as if April will never come. And then suddenly April is gone, and May is here, and seniors are finishing their papers. And then it's the Grady Fair, and then the senior trip, and now commencement. You'd think that I would get used to it by now, but somehow it always is a shock to find myself up here introducing the senior class to you all. The seniors know that ideas come from unexpected places, and if you pay attention, they coalesce and become something new and different. When I came to write these words, I had in my mind something a student had written in their final exam about how, after all the work and stress of school, students will be forgotten, and all the thoughts and ideas and passions would be for nothing. What was the point? They wrote. I understood what they meant. Like many seniors, they're impatient for what's next. They're impatient for what's next, for turning the future into reality. But I think if you are an alum, you have a perspective on this. You understand that Olney sticks with you, and you stick with Olney. I wrote back to the student and I said, I felt exactly the opposite, that Olney is so full of memory, so rich in the lived experience of all the people who had been a part of this community, that sometimes it seemed that there was no room for anything else. And then, thinking about this, I had a dream. The seniors are thinking, oh no, not a dream. But in my dream, I'm in my office working away, as I always do, and I turn and see that all the seniors are at my door, wanting to come in. I'm scared. What could they want? I tell them to come in, and they do, but they are not alone. Seems that all my students from the past have come too. Amihan, Kayla, Faith, Jonathan, Tony, all the past seniors. They all crowd in, more and more. Sorry. Smiling at me, as if to say, here we are. And then Chris wrote in his paper about African ways of knowing that in particular, I was struck, about African ways of knowing, and in particular, I was struck by this concept of umbilical knowledge, which meant that things Africans know, their identity and the way of being in the world, come from a vital connection between the body and the earth, and a living relationship with the past, all expressed through the image of the umbilical cord. Umbilical knowledge is a deep knowledge of self that comes from connection, not the Western idea of observation and measurement. What was important to me about this was the idea that we are physically connected through the umbilical to past generations in a sort of chain of being. We are what we are because of what came before. I know that that's true for me as an individual, but it's also true for Olney as an institution. It's what we mean by the Olney spirit. I don't think we could forget if we tried. So, Chris, Anya, Ropa, Pearl, Emma, Destiny, and Ezra, I look forward to seeing you in my dreams. I have a few words to say about each senior. I apologize in advance for saying African names in an American accent. Destiny Sykes Ntingo Chiruto is a 2-year senior from Kenya. She wrote about unintentional discrimination against the disabled. Destiny will go to Ohio Wesleyan in the fall. She told me that when she first got here, she didn't like it much. So she decided she would never speak. And she kept it up for the first part of when she was here. And I began to wonder about her. Why wouldn't she talk to me? Was it me? But then she eventually began to make friends, especially Anya, and teachers reached out to her, and gradually she began to open up. And now it can be hard to get her to stop talking at times. A senior trip was to Lake George, New York, and Destiny spent the 10-plus hour trip riding shotgun next to me, alternately napping and chatting about her favorite things. Favorite color, brown and pink. Favorite meat, beef. She tried crocodile and didn't like it much. And naturally, FaceTiming with her dad, she wanted to know what I thought about his accent after. I didn't know what to say. As is the way, Destiny truly began to come into her own, and her time at Olney and college will be the next great adventure for her, one that she will navigate with grace and courage, because those are two things that she has in abundance. Did you know? Good. Everyone here is going to miss you terribly. Good luck. Ezra Ividria is a 1-year senior from Uganda. Ezra wrote about the game of Uganda, a euphemism for what he considers to be the corrupt political system of his home country. He'll attend Wingate University in Charlotte in the fall. Ezra is a bit of a unicorn. It can be tough to excel as a 1-year senior, One-years have to get acclimated to the school culture, figure out the academics, and do all the things that seniors need to do. Ezra did a great job. Not only did he fit in well with the class, his outgoing nature served him well. One senior said that you could always count on Ezra to save the class from being quiet. To me, the most impressive thing Ezra did this year was not his paper, which was excellent, but his work as a filmmaker. Doing a film is complicated. You have to know what you're doing. You have to have a strong vision and also convince other people that you know what you're doing and help you make it. The fact that Ezra could write, direct, star in, and edit this project tells you all you need to know about him. That combination of leading with grace and making the work fun so that people actually want to do what you tell them to do, super rare, like a unicorn. Ezra will do well in college, and after, I'm sure. Good luck to you. Emmanuel Lungo is a 2-year senior from Kampala. His grady is about systemic racism. He'll also be attending Wingate University in the fall. In a bit of a departure, I asked seniors to tell me what they wanted me to say about them now, and Emma was the only one who responded. He said that he happens to be the life of the party. I can't say one way or another, but it sounds plausible. He's quiet sometimes, but when you get to know him, he becomes less quiet. True. He's ridiculously talented at connection games. He means the game in the New York Times where you have to take the words and put them into categories. He is freakishly good at that. He has a genuine heart, and he is kind. Also true. But there are some things Emma has left out. A lot of times the best things that happen in Olney happen outside the classroom. And I have to think that for Emma, the thing that he is most known for is his support for his friends. In final collection Thursday night, so many underclassmen appreciated Emma for his friendship and support. I think this is proof that the things that we do for others can have a far greater impact than we can know. Emma says he's interested in criminal justice and wants to become a lawyer, so I have no doubt he'll have great success. Good luck to you. Chris Mutabalira is a 4-year senior from Uganda. Chris will attend St. John's College in Santa Fe, New Mexico in the fall. Sometimes a student comes through Olney who is determined to wring as much out of the program as possible. And Chris is that student. Soccer captain, dorm governor, class president, Chris won the Sportsman Award and the award for most community service hours, over 2,000, I think. Ask Chris if he can do something, and he will invariably say, absolutely. Chris wrote a model grady on what it meant to be African, in which he developed a uniquely African concept of citizenship, which he says is about service, naturally. A hard-headed thinker, Chris is always ready to address the elephant in the room. I gotta ask, is his favorite catchphrase. I think I can speak for the whole faculty when I say that he is an excellent student in every way. However, Chris's superpower is not his academic prowess, but his ability to fall asleep instantly. Anywhere. In class. I've known him to ask a question, and before I can answer, out like a light. Just checking. Good luck to you at St. John's. Teropa Fatswana Mzenda. Is a two-year senior from Johannesburg, South Africa, but her parents are from Zimbabwe, and that detail is important. That detail is important, which you would know if you had read her Grady, which is about xenophobia in South Africa. Like Destiny, Ropa will go on to Ohio Wesleyan. Ropa likes to trick me. I mean, she will say things that she knows are patently false, but that I have no clue about, and I will believe her. I'd ask her, how many goals did you score in the game last night? And she'll say, 3. And everyone else is laughing. I have no clue. I genuinely believe that she could score 3 goals. Chris especially finds this hilarious. I enjoy having my gullibility exposed, and I love that Ropa knows that I have this weakness. And I think this is a uniquely Olney way of learning. On the other hand, her Grady was by far the most meticulously researched, and her topic, which grew out of her own experience with being ostracized at school because of her Zimbabwean background, was serious and well argued. I'm told she wants to become a biomedical engineer. I have no doubt that she'll have a great success. Good luck to you. Pearl Nakayao. Pearl is a 2-year senior from Uganda. She's set to go to the University of New Mexico, I think, someplace in New Mexico, in the fall. She wrote about artificial intelligence in medicine. Pearl is athletic, kind, funny, and curious. One of the amazing things that Pearl did this year was learn to play the trumpet, which Devin helped her with. She's not one to suffer fools. This is a phrase that means that she is quick to sense when someone is not telling the truth. But she also has faith, religious faith, of course, but also faith in others. When we were at Lake George for senior trip, everyone came and jumped in the lake first thing. Everyone except Chris and Pearl. That water was cold, maybe 50 degrees. Pearl didn't want to go do it at first, but then she decided that she needed a life vest, so I got her a life vest, and then she was worried the vest was too big. She's a very small person. But finally, she and Chris jumped in. There was a dock, and after you jumped in, you had to paddle just a few feet to get to the place where you could get out. But Pearl was not prepared, and when she hit the water, you could see in her face it was too much. And Chris, being Chris, came and helped her out. I ran over with a towel to dry her off. It's a small thing, but something I will always remember. She truly took a leap of faith. Pearl wants to be a doctor, and I know that she will be a great one. And finally, Anya Sears is a 3.5-year senior from Berea, Kentucky, and she will attend Oberlin College in the fall. She wrote her Grady about the power of stories, in particular the way that stories we share can change or deepen our relationships with loved ones. It's a lovely paper. But Anya is a perfectionist. I could never reassure her enough about what she had written. At one point, late in the process, she just kept saying, I need to go deeper, I need to go deeper. I appreciated the sentiment, but what I couldn't say to her at that time was, how deep do you want to go? Anya's ability to care for others, her smartness and self-awareness, her absolute willingness to always help, her bond with her sister, Maria. which she lives out and then could explain in her paper. My sense of Anya's involvement was that it was plenty deep. Earlier in the year, when she was struggling with a paper, I wrote a comment that said that I needed more Anya in the paper. And this was a phrase that apparently she took to heart. But, I find now that this was a bit of a trick question because there can never be enough Anya. I'm sorry. I think you'll be a star at Oberlin. So that's the class of 2025. I'm so proud of all of you. You will definitely be missed.
Thank you very much, Roger. And now we'll keep moving on. That was a wonderful introduction of this class. Okay, next up we have Anya, who's going to read us an excerpt from her grad essay or the senior research paper. It's a 20-page paper that everyone has to write before graduating from Olney Friends School. It takes almost the entire senior year to get it together, and sometimes even starts the summer before. And Anya wrote on the power of stories. You're welcome.
Additionally, after Elsa runs away after losing control of her powers, Anna chases after her. Instead of feeling betrayed by the fact that Elsa kept her powers a secret from her, didn't communicate with her about what she was going through, and didn't listen to her when she told Elsa she was in love with Hans, Anna only has room to worry. Though going after Elsa is dangerous, Anna takes off without a second thought, determined to help Elsa in any way that she can. This shows that despite the instability and turmoil that makes up a good portion of the sisters' relationship, they are ultimately each other's priority, and they will do anything for one another despite their arguments or complex history. This is a testament to the sibling bond and its endurance and power. Next, we see Elsa as she runs further and further away from the kingdom. At first, she is crying and full of distress at her present situation. But as time goes on and the distance from the kingdom that was suffocating her grows, she becomes more and more confident and begins to feel better. She sings, quote, "The wind is howling like a swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I tried. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know." As Elsa sings about everything she has had to bottle up inside, everything she has gone through, it is clear that Elsa has been bottling up her very identity. She has had to hide who she is from everyone and was taught that she had to hide herself, that in some way, being herself was wrong and dangerous. When she says, well, now they know, however, she rejects the societal expectations that suppress her and don't allow her to be herself. She continues singing, quote, "It's funny how some distance makes everything seem small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do to test the limits and break through. No right, no wrong, no rules for me, I'm free." Away from everyone and everything, Elsa finds her freedom and is able to be truly and fully her authentic self. The walls that enclosed her are gone, and she is able to use her powers to create beautiful things like a snowman, a staircase, and a castle made of ice. By creating these beautiful things, Elsa transforms her powers and the way she sees herself. Instead of seeing them as a source of pain, destruction, harm, and cause for isolation, she instead sees that they are also a source of creation, of beauty, of life, of freedom. This is the sort of testament to feminine autonomy and self-discovery, showcasing that identity and femininity are sources of power and freedom. Trying to explain a concept like this to a little kid would be difficult, if not impossible. But the fact that films like Frozen can convey complex emotional, social, and moral ideas in a way that kids can begin to learn from and understand is a testament to the power of story. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Anya. I recall Anya's first day on campus. I wasn't here when Anya came for her school visit or her admissions interview, but I had heard a lot about Anya before she arrived. And surely, I greeted her up on the second level stairwell. I said, "Well, Anya, how are you doing? Welcome to Olney." And the response had me regret why I asked, because it was just full-blown tears. And I ran downstairs to Vicky's office. Said, "Vicky, I don't know if I just hurt a student's feelings by saying welcome to Olney, but I don't know. I'm really worried about this student." I'm so worried about this student. And I stopped being worried after our GMX because, as Anne-Marie reminds us, if we can hold on to the students until GMX, they're here to stay. And so after that GMX, I stopped worrying and then have just had a front row seat watching Anya become a leader, self-gov leader, a trusted friend to so many, companion to all those who come into Olney feeling shy, unsure of themselves, or thinking they are not in the right place, because she's walked that journey herself. I have a colleague from Nigeria who asked me about two students. He was here in December talking about Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, and he asked, "How is that student Anya doing? That's an impressive student. I've met so many people talk about these sustainable development goals, but none ever asked, how do I use my privilege to be in service of others and really have a meaningful impact on the world? It stuck with him. And the other one he asked me about is his power. And the way he asked that, I say, how is that daughter that forced you to adopt her? That you had to be a dad no matter what at Olney Friends School. That's the only person he says he's met who can hold me accountable. And yet he knows my very strong wife Vivian as well. But there we go, that is power. I promise these seniors I'll tell stories about them today, and I intend on making good on that promise. But Anya leave an indelible mark on all of us here at Olney. I'm sure if I look to my right here, I won't be able to hold back my tears, so I won't look. But I think those who see my colleagues can tell just how much you have influenced us and how much you're just really that exemplar of an Olney Friends School graduate. And next, we will hear from Ezra Vudria, who wrote on the Game of Uganda. You're welcome, Ezra.
To be able to affect change is something that one should take pride in. Having a hand in the decisions that affect you in a country carries weight and therefore must not be taken for granted. That is why I value democracies, and true democracies where rule by the people is emphasized. Because what is governance without the value of the consensus of the nation? Uganda is a nation where democracy is believed to take place. We carry out elections like any other democratic country, and the people carry out their civic duties. However, throughout my life, I have witnessed elections where the value consensus does not reflect in the authority governing us. So, is Uganda a democratic state or an authoritarian regime masked as a democracy? Since independence, Uganda has been plagued by two persistent problems: imperialism, characterized by seizure of power through military force, and self-imposed leadership, where rulers entrench themselves in power. But at its core, Uganda's most significant challenges are fear and greed, two tools weaponized against the people. The fear I refer to is specific. It is the kind that paralyzes an individual's will and extinguishes the community's passion. This fear erodes one's ability to recognize a problem for what it truly is, choosing ignorance over awareness and masking the deeper issues that refine what it means to be a Ugandan. Many Ugandans keep silent rather than demand accountability and progress, not out of ignorance, but out of self-preservation. Now, let me bring the idea of greed. Throughout the years, Uganda has witnessed how greed has stifled Uganda's progress, from corrupt members of parliament embezzling public funds to opposition leaders being arrested for attempting to campaign against the NRM political party. The clinginess of the country's leaders to political power has created a system of selfishness and neglect towards the national well-being of the country. Fear and greed are tools used to maintain power, keep people in check, and uphold a broken system that fosters tribalism, sexism, and a lack of opportunities for young people. However, when used responsibly, I want to demonstrate how power unites a nation through sound decision-making and selfless leadership when used in a community. But before that can happen, We must first learn how to navigate the game of Uganda and find ways to dismantle the system that has kept the nation in its current state. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ezra, who of course has kept me on my toes since he arrived at Olney Friends School. There is always something going on with Ezra, and he's always watching to see if you are actually living up to the values that you espouse. So, including when he sent me his grad paper after midnight on the day it was due. And it was time to go over one more time. Have a look. And so it's just been wonderful to have Ezra here as a student. And I'll tell you again about being kept on my toes. Long before I met him in person, Ezra wrote me an email. So why do we need to read this book? What is its value? What is it? Can you explain to me all these things? It took me about 18 hours to write a response. So I said, okay. He's read the thing, and I cannot just give him a boilerplate response. And what more would you want in a student than that, way of just inquiring, exploring, and trying to find out whether you are also growing in the process. You're not just a static teacher or someone who just recognizes one way of doing things. And so Ezra has been one of those teachers for me, and I'm sure for many other colleagues and students. Whatever is going on with Ezra, he's always ready to put a smile on your face, as we found out during Poetry Slam this year. So always creative. Thank you, Ezra. And it just hit me that the game of Uganda is the GOU. I don't think that's by mistake. Ugandans in the room will know the GOU is the all-powerful, the government of Uganda. So that's awesome, Ezra. Okay, and now we move on to the class representative for this year, Christian Mutabalira. Or if I Americanize it, Christian Mutabalir.
Good morning, friends, alums, faculty, supporters, and fellow students. Just a few days ago, my classmates and I set off on our senior trip, filled with laughter, music, and anticipation. We had nearly made it. 4 years at Olney, every late-night dorm conversation, every walk across this beautiful campus, every dish crew, every meeting for worship had brought us to this point. And yet, beneath the surface of all that joy, I carried the quiet question in my heart. Would I be allowed to stay long enough to graduate? Would immigration policies or paperwork changes prevent me from walking across this stage? For many international students, including myself, celebration often comes with a great shadow. The privilege of being here comes with a constant reminder that our futures lie not entirely in our hands. But even as these realities weigh on us, they do not define us, they do not define me. Because Olney has shown me something more powerful than fear, the strength of community. In this place, I've learned what it means to belong, to be known, and to be accountable, not just to myself, but to others, from different countries, faiths, and walks of life. I've come to believe that community, when rooted in a shared humanity, can carry us through even the most uncertain moments. If some of us feel uncertain or unseen, then all of us have work to do. Community means that no fear is born alone. I arrived in January at the peak of winter, far off from the warm evenings I was accustomed to in Kampala. The cold was a shock, and so was the food. I had grown used to the rich flavors of homemade meals prepared with ingredients I trusted completely. Here, the food was different, a taste that took time to grow on me, much like the new rhythms of my life in Olney. From the moment I stepped onto the campus, I knew I had a steep climb ahead to truly belong in this close-knit community. Everything was unfamiliar. Teachers were addressed by their first names, and the school itself, so much smaller than what I was used to, created an intimacy both interesting and intimidating. However, it wasn't just the weather or the unconventional school practices that challenged me. It was the internal battle with homesickness and self-doubt. I missed the warmth of my family back home, my brother, my lifelong friends, and the comforting familiarity of knowing exactly where I belonged. At Olney, surrounded by peers from all over the world, each fluent in their own language and proud of their heritage, I found myself questioning how much of my Ugandan identity I was bringing into this new chapter. I even noticed my accent shift as I tried to sound more American, feeling as though I was losing a piece of who I was in the process. The turning point came for me when I discovered that true strength lies in authenticity. I remember one quiet moment during a silent Quaker meeting for worship, a moment when the stillness allowed me to truly listen to my inner voice. In that silence, I felt seen and understood, no matter how different I appeared on the surface. Then there was Scott. Although many of you might know him as a former part of our maintenance team, to me he became the living proof that hard work and genuine self-acceptance are inseparable. Scott, who once worked in the maintenance here at Olney, was unafraid to share his eccentric interests and even his wild conspiracies. His fearless authenticity taught me that it isn't about fitting into a predetermined mold, but about setting my own standards, being proud of who I am without compromise. Each of these experiences, whether the biting winter chill, the unfamiliar food, or that transformative silence during worship, played a part in my journey of learning to embrace my identity. They showed me that while adaptation is inevitable, true belonging only comes when we stick to who we really are. At Olney, community isn't about trimming away parts of who you are to fit a predetermined mold. It's about weaving together our unique backgrounds and values to create a home where every voice is celebrated. As you may have imagined, over these past few years, I've had plenty of time to adjust to the community here. At Olney, I learned that community isn't only built through words, it's built in the quiet moments and through simple acts of service. One clear example is our daily silent worship. There's a way the silent connects you in ways words could never. Every time we are together in silence, we give ourselves a chance to listen to our inner thoughts and feel connected. In that peaceful pause, even without speaking, we share a feeling of togetherness that reminds us we're never alone in our challenges or our joys. Another lesson came from our everyday work around the school, whether it was office work, taking care of our classrooms, cleaning up, or helping with community projects. These small tasks taught us responsibility and unity. We all play a part, and no role is too small. Each one of us learns by pitching in, even in the tiniest ways. We help build a community based on care and respect. This shared work shows in practice the Quaker values of simplicity, peace, integrity, community, equality, and stewardship that guide our daily lives here. Another valuable lesson in service is seen in the leadership roles we naturally take on. We don't just lend a hand around the community, we also become role models, setting a high standard of care and accountability for our school. And this inspiring thing about leadership at Olney is that while some students hold formal positions, every one of us leads in our own unique way. Our everyday actions prove that true leadership isn't about a title, it's about making a positive impact on everyone around us. These experiences have shown me that community is more than just the people around us. It's what we do together, the quiet moments we share, and the work we put in to care for one another. In doing so, we not only help our school grow stronger, but also learn how to support and see each other in every step of our lives. If I can feel seen here in Barnesville, Ohio, then what else is possible in the world? If each of us, no matter where we come from, can come together and feel truly seen, imagine the change we could create globally. We arrived at Olney carrying our fears and insecurities, and now we must ask, what happens when we leave our close-knit community to face a world filled with ever-growing challenges like inequality and immigration fears? Perhaps these global issues seem too massive, just as our personal challenges once did. But maybe that thought is what holds us back. As Dr. Martin Luther King wisely said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Here at Olney, when a major problem arises, the impact isn't isolated. We all share the burden and together we act. That's what we signed up for, the good we build together and the hardships we overcome as one. So why not extend this sense of care and responsibility beyond Barnesville? We, as individuals, have more influence than we might think. Our duty now is to challenge the injustices that affect not just us directly, but people all around the world. We all share responsibility for one another, and together we can make a global difference. We must extend the kind of community we build here beyond Olney's campus, beyond just our families, and beyond to the whole world, so we can make this world a better place, one person at a time. I would like to thank my family, the faculty, and my fellow students, those seated in the row of benches before me, those seated up there, and those watching, past and to come. And to my classmates, don't answer now. Our infamous class quote, though it might have begun as a playful homage to our metanoia class, reflects the steadiness we must maintain throughout life. There's no desperate rush. We need to take the time to figure out our futures and destinies. Just because we're graduating does not mean we're leaving this community, for this community will always be with us in our actions. No matter where we go, we carry Olney deep in our hearts and spirits, and we carry each other. Congratulations, class of 2025. I will always carry you with me.
Thank you very much, Christian. And it was incredible to see that name spelled out in full, because he's insisted on going by Chris since he showed up, because he didn't want to be known as the child of the head of school. And then somewhere, somehow, the transformation happened and he's back to being Christian now. So it's amazing. Welcome back. I know I speak with the permission from Mom. I know I do. And for me, we are incredibly proud of you. It's amazing how far you've come as well. From, again, very quiet, unsure of himself. In 5th grade, trying to do Swahili homework with him was something so difficult. He said, what do these words mean? Kwaheri, and how do you not know what these words mean? To now, where you read texts and we discuss them again at that depth where you really know this person has read this book well and cares so much for the community. It's been an incredible evolution. And I say, Regina, at the very height of when Chris, now Christian, had decided to be the head of our home, at the end of his 9th grade year and part of 10th, Regina said, don't worry about it. What are you hearing from outside your home? If you hear things that are positive from outside your home, don't worry, all will be well. And it has been so well for even longer that we just had to take a bit and waited. And what was happening on the outside in the Olney community came inside our home. So again, we're also so grateful to the Olney community. Yes. Ropa, you are not going to survive this one. I asked you, who is going to be here to sing with me all these strange birthday songs? Huh? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. That is it. One more time. Happy birthday to you. That is the response. Your way. And we used to sing that one with Ropa, who came in with a determination just to conquer Olney and move on from here with everything that you've gotten out of the experience. Very proud of you, very happy to see your mom in the audience, made it all the way from South Africa. As I am, I see Patrick and Sharon, Robert and Gosha, I see Charles, I see the Sears family, I see Letitia. Everyone is here for you. It's incredible. Yeah? And so we are sharing here for you. There will be no other birthday girl, but there we go. And Emmanuel, I don't know, as Roger said, that description, the life of the party, I just say, okay, that if Emmanuel said that, there's a reason why he said that one. And I think, yes, we'll remember you for just being your cool self all the time. And for me, as your head of school, for the wonderful hand clap you taught me. You don't have to be laboring. Be cool about it. There we are. Wonderful. And Destiny, just as Roger said, we didn't know why isn't Destiny talking with us? Why isn't Destiny talking? Eventually, Destiny started talking, and she can ask some incisive questions. You have to take a pause again before you respond to them. It's been wonderful to see you just come into your own at Olney Friends School, quietly but still with that quiet power and grace that is just so characteristic of some of the most powerful people in this world. To show that you have power, you don't need to be loud about it. It is just known. And I think even right now, it is just known that there is a lot of power on this front bench, and positive power be used to greater good in the world. Paul, we already talked about you a little bit, but for you in particular, I have to tell you, I will not miss you telling me that I'm late for things. Yeah, Christian, you are late. You are late. Paul, do you know how many things I have to do? It doesn't matter. You are late. And so it was always a beautiful day when it would be me saying, Paul, you are late. Paul, you are late. You are late. And back and forth, discussing the future, career opportunities, what to do to get into med school, all these things. They've just been enriching conversations with you, Paul, and most of all, as with I think other students here, but most of all, watching you grow to learn how to read books and love reading them, after so militantly telling me you are not going to read any of them. So thank you for giving it a chance. And back to you one more time, Anya. Those papers you wrote on crime and punishment as a sophomore will always be with me. You didn't know that until today, but yes, I read those papers and keep them, and those crime and punishment papers are some of the best I've ever read, even when I taught college. So there we are, friends, with our class of 2025. You've listened to some of the gradies, you've had the class rep talk, and now it's time for those diplomas, which I promised them that I wouldn't sign, but I signed 2 weeks ago. So, so we'll only make 5. 2 of you won't get diplomas, but all of them are here, fully signed. And the special thing about the Olney Friends School diploma is that you'll find every faculty member's signature. And that is a testament to all of us saying we've had a part in your journeys, and you've had a part in ours. And it's again continuation of what's been happening here for almost 200 years. And you'll see people in the audience who've gone through their own ceremony and understand the value of that diploma, the grady box, the whole time of going through writing your senior research papers and everything. So let us begin. And I remembered your request for middle names as well. So here we go. Okay, Destiny Sykes Nantongo Cheruto. Congratulations, Destiny. Turn for a photo, that is there. Let me make sure. It is signed, Ezra. It is signed. Ezra Benjamin Ivudria. Congratulations. I'm sure your parents are online, so let us look in the camera there for them. Yes, there you go. Miriam and Godfrey, thank you for entrusting us with the care of Ezra. Yeah. Emmanuel, Mayamiko, Lungu. Congratulations. And he's the third one in his family. Look at mom over there. Exactly. Letitia, thank you as well. Just getting Emmanuel here and helping us understand who he is, how to get through with him. It's been an incredible learning opportunity. Thank you very much. Leonard Please help me with this one. I can't do this one.
So many names. Christian, Merceline, Mayahanya, Tabalia.
Yes, Taropa Fadzwa, Muzenda. Mom's right there. And he's leading for the online, I'm sure. Let's stand for that as well. And your sister, congratulations. Pearl Eva Nachiriowa. Congratulations. And mom and dad right there. Hey, you made it up. Congratulations. Anya Grace Sears. Mom, dad, brother, grandparents, congratulations, Anya.
Thank you, Christian.
Okay, friends, we keep moving. Yes, now up next is our commencement address. And you'll go and read Chrissy's bio online. Chrissy Caceres, head of school, Brooklyn Friends School. But I'll tell you why it's especially special to have her here with us today, because she stands for everything that we all stand for as Quaker schools, but also as leaders of color. I've come to really rely on Chrissy for wonderful advice on how to navigate choppy waters. She's also one of our mentors in a leadership program I'm part of for leaders of color, about 30 of us. And we also serve together on the board of the Friends Council on Education. So over time, there's been this thought, how do we get Chrissy to Olney Friends School? And finally, talking with the seniors and all, they said, this is the person who should be our commencement speaker. It took me some days to master the courage to write the letter and braced myself for response, saying, no, schedule is booked. But the response came back unequivocally, absolutely. I've wanted to come to Olney Friends School for a very long time. And I know Chrissy, she meant it. She doesn't do things in half measures and doesn't fake either. So it's just my distinct honor to welcome my colleague, my friend, a mentor, and also what we didn't know, but we'll all come to know very soon, a big supporter of Olney Friends School. Chrissy, welcome.
Before I begin my formal remarks, I have to start by saying thank you for the incredible graciousness that everyone has extended in helping me to arrive from Brooklyn, in just being warm and ever so beautiful a community. And even though, yes, I am in the asphalt streets of New York City, there is more that connects Olney Friends School and Brooklyn Friends School than anyone could ever know, and I'm sure Christian and I can absolutely ascertain. So good morning and welcome to this magnificent day, beloved graduates, families, colleagues, alumni, and Board of Trustees members to this important occasion. I have traveled from downtown Brooklyn, where I lead a 157-year-old Quaker school in downtown, serving 703 students from 2 years old through 12th grade. I remarked to the students who were so wonderfully gracious that our graduating class has 38 students, and in Brooklyn, that is the equivalent of 7 students here. We are, for New York City, considered an intimate entity in the landscape of our peer schools, and like you, we are intentionally and proudly so. Today, I stand before you with tremendous humility and in awe. I'm in awe of the journey to a beautiful and inspiring human ecosystem in our fraught world. Olney Friends School, which I have admired from afar for a long time. As someone who grew up in a tiny town in the southeast coast of Puerto Rico called Yabucoa, known for its lush green valleys and still mostly unpaved streets, this landscape that is your school home speaks right to my heart, and it beckons. It truly makes me wish that I'd lived this experience. My parents came here with their 3 children in their 20s, and they nor me and my siblings knew a word of English. I was the oldest, and I was told that I would need to learn English and help my brother and sister to be able to succeed in a very different world. My father, who worked as a sugarcane cutter on the island, used his cutting skills to become a butcher here in America. I know that Puerto Rico is a part of America, but we consider ourselves immigrants to the United States. My mother worked to keep us each safe every day, eventually serving as a cook in a school kitchen for many years. Fast forward, I'm the first in my family to go to college and graduate school, and like Christian, as people of marginalized identities, we represent the less than 10% of people of color leading independent schools. Graduates, this is about you, and I only share parts of me because we are mirrors to one another in many different ways. I hope you fully realize within your souls that this sanctuary is a rare and radiant place where stewardship, silence, and community are not just teachings, but truths that take root. Here, nestled in these serene foothills of Appalachia, amidst the gorgeous farmland, you've learned that education extends beyond textbooks. You've literally tilled the soil, nurtured life, and in doing so, cultivated a much deeper understanding of interconnectedness and responsibility. To the 7 remarkable graduates before me, Anya, Christian, Ropa, Destiny, Pearl, Ezra, and Emmanuel. Mil gracias. As we say in my homeland, 1,000 thank yous for the honor of standing here today, chosen by your collective consensus, a testament to the Quaker spirit that permeates this beautiful school. To believe that you thought my voice could carry meaning on this most sacred of days touches me deeply. Everyone here that is gathered, whether personally or from home, is here because you are loved. You are loved fully, and I have seen that in just hours. You are admired, you're respected for your insistence and for being exactly who you're meant to be in this world. You're loved not just because of your academic achievements, but for the luminous journey that each of you has undertaken. You arrived here as distinct individuals, each carrying your own stories, cultures, and dreams. You met adults, many who have been here for many years, because I have to say, why would you want to leave here? I don't want to go back to Brooklyn. It's the truth. And they developed, and I love my school, and they developed relationships with you that have informed continuous growth and evolution of your humanity individually and collectively. You've been led by a head of school who models what it means to lead a steady life of purpose and meaning, not informed by ego, but by the conviction that humanity intersected with a values-led journey is what draws meaning and informs positive social impact in our world. I have learned that over the past year, you've delved into the profound study of enacting an ethic of care and responsibility as global citizens. Interestingly, Brooklyn Friends School's entire mission and identity is informed exactly by your year of study. The closing line in our mission statement is, our graduates are compassionate, curious, and confident global citizens who let their lives speak in the spirit of citizenship, leadership, and service. And one of your North Stars, I also hear, is be truthful and harm no one, although I love that you get to pick your own motto, and flower, and song. Both schools engage in an endeavor that is not merely academic. Brooklyn Friends and Olney Friends are schools with a commitment to shaping a more compassionate world, and as young people in two distinct geographies, you are doing just that. As a matter of fact, Christian, it's time for us to explore and exchange, and I mean it. There's a lot that could intersect our worlds. We are at quite a precipice in this tender world, and the next few years need people to come towards one another rather than navigate away from one another. This will require skills of conflict resolution, restorative justice, and the respect and inclusion of different beliefs and perspectives in order to solve complex problems. As such, I want you to remember that your time at Olney Friends has prepared you not only to think, but to be grounded in your convictions, to be responsive to injustice, to be joyful stewards of the earth, to be courageous in the face of uncertainty. As I think about what it means to live with such depth and intention, I'm reminded of someone who shaped me in very similar ways. And though we never used the word stewardship on my island home, she lived it fiercely and lovingly, and she was my abuelita, my grandmother. When I was little, growing up in Puerto Rico, my abuelita would wake up quite early, and I loved her so much that I often skipped right to her home before school, after school, and on weekends. She'd greet me with a warm and wet kiss, a big hug, and quickly put me to work. We had to feed the pigs, tend the cows, wash clothes by hand, make sausages, collect vegetables and herbs for the day's meals, prune the garden, barter with neighbors, gather wood and water, wash our clothes by the riverside, mend the garments, sew to fulfill neighbors' clothing orders, get the firewood ready to cook our meals outdoors, hang our clothing on the clothing line, check the collected rainwater in the outhouse for our cold showers, and if needed, ready a chicken for butchering. And in case you're wondering, this was not the 70s, 80s, nor the 1800s. One day, I vividly remember watching my tia return from El Gran Supermercado, the big supermarket in a faraway town, with a box of frozen hamburgers and frozen maíz, or corn. She offered them to Abuelita, who had a deep freezer that I thought was nothing short of magical. Okay? Abuelita responded simply, "No gracias." When asked again, this time with disbelief, she repeated with kindness and firmness, "No gracias." Later, I asked why. After all, those frozen items would make things so much easier. Abuelita paused her work, took my hand, and walked me to the pig's pen and her flourishing garden. In Spanish, now translated for you, she said, "Crisi, remember that just because something may be easier, it doesn't mean that it is what you need nor what it is better. What I grow in this garden only comes through if I tend to it. What comes from it is what I use to feed our animals. Our milk is delicious and allows me to make your favorite oatmeal over an open fire. Their meat, when they sacrifice their lives for us, is nutritious and nourishing. The clothes you wear, I've made with care and love, and there exists no others like them. Crisi, always mind what you put into this world. It will mean that you may appear to work harder, or that you will sometimes choose a course not chosen by most, which can be lonely. But if working harder means doing things that help you, help others, and help the land, then always ask yourself, is this the moment to choose easy? Graduates, much named as easy will come your way. And sometimes ease is precisely what is needed. But I ask that you pause. Always ask what putting your all into, your wondrous, formidable, and beautiful whole selves into the world might yield. In this moment, and in the spirit of Quaker discernment, ask yourselves, what are you tending to in your life like a garden? And what might you grow if you nurture it with intention and care? I implore that you tend to your version of best. Let it be shaped by the values of those who raised you and are sitting right here or watching from home to witness this gloriousness. Shaped by the incredible educators who guided you and listened to your voices, believing in your might. By the friends who walked beside you, celebrating you in times of joy and soothing you in times of sadness. And by this beloved place, Olney Friends School, that has watered the roots of your becoming. Think back to your time on the land and the farm. What did the soil and the rhythm of the seasons and the care of animals teach you about balance and responsibility? I hope for each of you that in moments where the tendrils of the unexpected and arduous may ensue, that you pause and reach back to the feelings and moments that brought you centering right here. Reach back to the place that silence does and can continue to hold in your lives. Share a moment of peace with yourself and others. Claim it with fierceness, even as the world may challenge you in doing so. Keep it as an unwavering pillar. I have named all of you as a collective. You, class of 2025, you are the mighty and brilliant 7. 7 graduates standing tall, rooted in different soil from Kentucky to Zimbabwe, South Africa, Kenya, and Uganda, yet nourished by a common spirit grounded in Quaker testimonies. 7 is sacred in many ways. There are 7 notes in the diatonic musical scale, A through G, symbolizing harmony and creation. As such, you are a beautiful composition, each essential for the full song of healing that you will compose for this world. There are 7 colors in the rainbow, and they are resplendent in their wonder, symbolizing hope, diversity, and the promise of a new beginning. That is you. There are 7 continents and 7 seas, signifying an expansion collection to our globe, which you reflect in your identities. Meeting for worship happens every 7 days, a time when you allow yourself to connect to the divine light within all. And did you know that there are 7 directions in indigenous wisdom, and I myself come from the Taíno heritage in Puerto Rico? North, south, east, west, above, below, and within. Graduates, it is that 7th direction within that holds your compass. Within is the place where your inner light resides. It is the place where truth is clearest. It is the place that this incredible school has helped you to listen to. So mighty and brilliant 7, together you are a constellation, a circle, a harmony, a song, and even a spectrum. But above all, you are a gift. Today and in the days ahead, may you sit with these queries. What does it mean to be part of a sacred 7? How will you honor the ways you've shaped one another's lives, even as you go in different directions? In the whirlwind of your futures, how will you return to silence, not as an escape, but as renewal? What does it mean to hold peace at the center of your lives? And balance with the sadness, boldly and uncompromisingly continue to use your voices to shift the courses of injustice towards goodness. Use your character and robust strengths and insist on that which allows for all of you to be whole and respected and valued. This is already within you. It was not created anew. Only friends simply made space for your inner lights to shine, and literally so they have. As such, ask yourselves, what does your inner light compel you to speak into the world? How will you ensure that it shines even when the world resists its glow? As you stand on the precipice of your new beginnings, I want you to remember this. The world that you are entering to is intricate, at times tumultuous, and quite often would feel unfair and unjust to your beings. Challenges will arise, and the path may not always be clear. When that occurs, reach back to the feelings and moments that you are carrying right now. Recall the serenity of this landscape, the warmth of your peers, the stewardship of the adults who have held you, the love that has been realized. And remember joy. There is great joy and peace for you too. Do not be tricked into missing the points of pure happiness in your life. Embrace it all. Share a moment of peace within yourself, but cultivate joy brightly. And no matter what, claim it. Claim it, because the world at times will want to take it. As you grow in strength and mighty and brilliant 7, balance your comfort with positive action. Let your voices rise to the challenge. Get into John Lewis good trouble. I'm all about that. I said I follow the rules all of the time except when I don't. And by the way, I typically don't read a thing I say except for commencement because it goes into our archives, which is why I'm doing so now, but there's ad-libbing in between. So the power is not newfound. It's always resided. And I am going to ask for grace, not knowing, Christian, that this was a meeting for worship style. I have an audience participation element. So, all seated here, please repeat after me after each phrase, not the graduates. We see you.
We see you.
We believe in you.
We believe in you.
We honor you.
We honor you.
We are proud of you.
We are proud of you.
We need you.
We need you.
We love you.
We love you.
Now, Ropa, Anya, Destiny, Christian, Emmanuel, Ezra, and Pearl, repeat after me and do so with your full voice and might. I want you to reach within and put your full powerful strength into this. We are light.
We are light.
Okay, y'all. Listen, this Puerto Rican right here, I want you to imagine you're out on the field and you're by yourself and you're getting to say this such that the skies above you hear you. We are light.
We are light.
We are needed.
We are needed.
We are beautiful.
We are beautiful.
We are brilliant.
We are brilliant.
We are compassionate.
We are compassionate.
We are change agents.
We are change agents.
We are a mighty and brilliant 7.
We are a mighty and brilliant 7.
We are Olney Friends School.
We are Olney Friends School.
In just mere hours, I have witnessed your splendor, and your light is undeniable. I can exclaim with confidence just how proud I am, even though I'm just meeting you. As you step forward into this multifaceted world, please carry this friend's experience with you like a lantern. Its light does not dim with its distance. It's a steady and guiding light because it lives within you. And may you always find your way to this bucolic and lush home that is filled with absolute and undeniable love for you. Do not forget it. Remember to help take care of it as time unfolds. Tend to it just as you have tended to the fields, the animals, and one another. It needs you, but you need it. Now I can only imagine the joy and emotions that you will experience and that will surface when you each go into the full comfort of your homes and your family's embraces. I know that for some of you, this journey has required so much of you. Take every moment in. Release laughter, but also allow yourself to release tears. All that you hold is valid. You have absolutely nothing to prove. You are fully whole and wondrous and magnificent and ready. Quite simply, be you. I congratulate you, mighty and brilliant 7. May you go forth with courage, conviction, and a focus on a purpose-filled life with care and action at the center. With much love from downtown Brooklyn all the way right here, Chrissy.
When I was in Uganda, all the cool guys dressed like this. And all the cool girls were ululating. I've never been so happy to be a guy. My throat would not do that. I am a Quaker. We are quiet and reserved. We believe God speaks in a still small voice. But surely God speaks with more than one voice. And so, because this is a celebration, a joyful celebration, and because this echoing meeting house is perfect for it, and in the interest of diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're going to enjoy some ululation. I think some of you know who I'm counting on. And those that maybe are not so comfortable, I encourage you to attempt. As I rise my hand, ululate. As I drop it, we will drop into Quaker silence. Are we ready? Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Talk about the melding of cultures. Very nice. Now, one more item of business. I fear my father may come to visit. There he is. Come to visit during my talk. When confronted with the beauty of this life that we share and the beauty of this world, he did not smile and laugh. He didn't shout hallelujah. He certainly didn't ululate. No, he would get choked up. When his heart was full, it would overflow up here. It's what I call his gratitude weeping gene, and I have inherited it. So if I start to tear up, I'll raise my hand. The ululation will fill this space. And I will be reminded that there are other ways to express gratitude than crying. Good morning, friends. Congratulations, seniors. I'm Leonard. Olney Friends School, class of 1970. Actually, Friends Boarding School, class of 1970, way before the name change. I teach at Olney. I was born in 1951. Somehow this fact came up in class with these guys. Stunned silence. Then this. So you were alive when Jesus was? I bring up my age because of a phenomenon that has been happening for the last decade. When I get together with friends my age, it's the question of retirement. First, it was folks talking about when they might retire. Then it was how much they were loving their retirement. Then it was, Leonard, when are you going to retire? For a few years, my answer was, I'm just waiting to not enjoy my job anymore. More recently, it has been, still not sure, still love my job. I'm definitely 1 year closer, though. So why is it so hard to quit Olney? I'll share 3 reasons and a poem. First, could it be because you have a boss? Thank you. Who gets up at 2 in the morning, goes to the school kitchen, toils at the stove all night? Just so the school can enjoy a special Easter dinner. Or was that just how long it took to make goat edible? When Brother Don can't sleep at night, he doesn't count sheep. He tries to count and name all the heads of school he has worked for. We both agree that Christian heads the list of heads we've most enjoyed working for. Again, why is it so hard to quit Olney? Ashleen and Audrey were students in my algebra one. Thank you. In my algebra 1 last year. Ashleen, please wave to the crowd. Now stand up. It was maybe 2 weeks into the school year. Didn't feel like we really knew each other all that well. At the end of class, they didn't leave right away. Then they said something in unison, which I didn't quite catch. But it sounded a bit rote, maybe a bit tongue-in-cheek. So I asked them to repeat it. Leonard, we acknowledge and appreciate your services. I laughed and asked what that was all about. And they said it's what they had to say to the teacher back home in Uganda before they could leave the classroom. Sincere or not, I found I really liked it. And told them that I acknowledged and appreciated their efforts at learning algebra. And guess what I often hear students saying when class is over and they're walking out the door? Thanks. That's right, thanks. Did I ever think to say that to my teachers back in the 60s? Never too late. Thanks, Rich Sidwell. No, I did not. They're working hard day and night, preparing for classes, teaching classes, and then with 5 other responsibilities because they worked at a boarding school, not exactly getting rich at it. And for what purpose? To try to make me smarter. And I didn't think to say thanks, but some of these guys do. And did I mention that I teach math and science? It's not like I'm asking them to share their feelings about photosynthesis. I'm not interested in their opinion of the Pythagorean theorem, and yet I hear thanks on the way out the door. Kids these days. I love them. I've got a dentist in Barnesville who's somewhat familiar with Olney because one night a week he and his friends would play pickleball in our gym. Now, when he's done with me in his office and I'm getting up out of the chair, with a Novocaine benumbed mouth, I say, Dr. Brewer, I acknowledge and appreciate your services. Again, why so hard to quit Olney? A few years back, Ethan was a student at Olney. He was a local boy, tall and skinny, one of those teenagers who's growing too fast for his blue jeans. I was on evening duty in the library when Ethan came up. Thank you. When Ethan came up to me and said, Leonard, I think you might be my spirit animal. We laughed about it, but I've never received a finer compliment. Every autumn, since 1876, I believe, folks have gathered on this beautiful ridgetop between this meeting house and the main building with the intention of building a loving, learning community. You could say we're trying our best to be good spirit animals for one another. Here's a poem that speaks to just that, written by Ken Jacobson, a former head of school. Whatever comes, hold to the God who is love without limits, truth without guile, life without end. Let this God flow into the small things of the day. Community is fashioned out of countless little kindnesses and honesty in the details. Don't be afraid of the hard words of Jesus. They may sting the ego, but they can heal the soul. Focus on helping each other discover the beauty that is of God. This beauty will be our gift to the world. In our life together, there are the inevitable hurts we cause one another without meaning to. Practice forgiveness, the offering of it, and the asking for it. This is the great healing art. Finally, be thankful for a little place like Olney, where peace can begin in the silence and flower into friendship across all the barriers of the heart.
Well, thank you very much, friends. That marks the conclusion of this part of the exercises. It's now time to head down the main building for lunch and photographs on the senior steps with the graduates' families. Thank you so much for being here with us.